You ever find yourself trapped in one of those conversations? You're smiling, you're nodding, but on the inside, your brain is just screaming for the nearest escape hatch? Well, today, we're going to get into exactly why small talk can feel like such an absolute chore.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Or how about the classic, so, how was your weekend? Ugh. If hearing stuff like that makes your soul just instinctively scan the room for an exit sign, then yep, you are definitely in the right place.
Okay, let's get one thing straight right from the jump. If this is you, you're not broken, you're not rude, you're not socially awkward. It literally comes down to how your brain is wired. And we're about to dive into exactly what that means.
So here's what we've got on tap. We're going to cover the pain of small talk, then the dopamine drought, what's going on with the hyperconnected mind, this weird thing called the crowded room paradox, and finally, how to survive it all. Let's do it.
Okay, so here's the absolute core of it. Think about it. Can you passionately debate the meaning of the universe at 2 in the morning, but then totally freeze up during 30 seconds of elevator chit-chat? If that's you, it's because your brain is it's built for depth. It craves complexity, and all that surface-level stuff, it just doesn't compute.
So let's get into the science of why this stuff can feel, almost physically painful. It all starts with a little brain chemical you've probably heard of. Yep, we're talking about dopamine.
Think of your brain like this high-speed supercomputer, right? So when it gets a totally predictable low-value piece of data like, how about that local sports team? It gets bored, instantly. And this isn't just a feeling, it's a real chemical event. Your brain literally stops releasing those feel-good chemicals, basically refusing to reward you for participating.
I mean, the difference is just night and day. Deep talk, that's new, it's challenging, it floods your brain with all that rewarding dopamine. But small talk, ugh. It's repetitive, it's predictable, and it triggers that dopamine drought that feels so draining. Seriously, it's not you being a snob. It's your brain basically screaming for a real workout.
But wait, it's not just about the chemistry. It's also about the actual structure of your thoughts. And this brings us to this really fascinating trait called hyperconnectivity.
So what does that even mean? Well, basically, your brain doesn't think in a straight line. Nope. It thinks more like a giant, interconnected web. It's constantly connecting dots, exploring all these different possibilities, and always digging for a deeper meaning. It's that part of you that's always asking why, or what if.
So if you're someone who is constantly analyzing everything, you can't just take a simple answer at face value because you immediately see all the complicated layers underneath, then yeah, you probably have a hyperconnected mind. And that is exactly why shallow conversation feels so unsatisfying. It's like asking a world-class concert pianist to just play chopsticks over and over. I mean, the instrument can do so much more.
So what happens when this incredibly deep-wired brain has to live and work in a world that mostly operates on the surface? Yeah, you get something pretty frustrating.
Have you ever been there? You're at a party, maybe a networking event. You're surrounded by dozens of people. Everyone's chatting, and you have never felt more completely alone. That is the crowded room paradox, and it's a direct result of everything we've been talking about.
And it's so important to get this distinction. The loneliness you're feeling in that room, it isn't social isolation, it's cognitive isolation. You're not missing people, you're missing that mental resonance. You know that incredible click you feel when you meet someone who's on the same wavelength? Without that, you can feel totally invisible, even in a room full of people.
Okay, so we totally get the problem now, right? The big question is, what do we do about it? How do we survive in a world that is just never going to stop making small talk? Well, the key isn't to try and force yourself to love it. It's to completely reframe how you think about it.
So instead of seeing it as this meaningless, painful chore, I want you to start thinking of it as a necessary and temporary tool. A tool for what? Well, this is it. It's the mandatory loading screen for deep talk, right? It's not the actual game. It's just that brief, kind of boring part you have to sit through before the real fun begins.
So here's how you put this into practice. Step 1, the second the small talk starts, you just say to yourself, okay, loading screen initiated. Step 2, see it for what it is. It's just a quick social handshake to prove you're friendly. And step 3, actively use it as a bridge to get to the good stuff. Like if someone says, crazy weather, you can go, yeah, it is. It actually makes me think about those wild climate patterns. Did you happen to see that new documentary about it? See, you endure for a second, then you pivot. You take control and steer it towards substance. So let's really land this plane on this one powerful idea. The next time you feel yourself zoning out during a conversation about the weekend, just remember this.
You don't have a broken social meter, you just have a deep-sea brain navigating a puddle. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You were just built for more.
So, the real question isn't about how you can get better at navigating puddles. The question is, what deep sea are you ready to explore? What are those deep, meaningful conversations you're going to seek out next? What amazing ideas are you ready to dive into?